agenda today is coming to you live from Tamanna School of Hope, and this show perhaps is a show which will fill you with hope, because today we are reporting on a story which will really warm the cockles of your heart. For the first time, the Women and Child Development Ministry's CARA, that's a central agency for adoption, has registered various Indian parents who want to adopt, who've specifically written on their forms that they want to adopt specially abled children. Now, usually, specially abled children would be adopted by foreign agencies. They would be sent abroad. So this is a huge shift in what policymakers are calling in mindset. Just what has brought this on, and we also have the head of CARA joining us from Jaipur. What has brought this on? Some of the families, the parents, the people who work with them, they'll be talking to us in just a bit. First, let's just note the story of how all this has happened. Take a look. In children's homes like this one, specially abled children would often not be considered for adoption in India. Many hope to find prospective parents abroad, but now things are suddenly changing.
Four parents came within this fortnight who wanted to adopt special need children. So that was a very encouraging trend.
And that's not all. Government data shows that for the first time, 11 parents have registered to adopt only special children. At the moment, 760 special kids are up for adoption.
In one case, what happened that when they adopted, then they felt that it is a special need child. So later they realized that special need child. So they were, in a fix what to do. But you will be surprised that mother said, once I have held the baby in my arms, I'm going to keep the baby, and they are looking after. In some cases, when they have grown and they didn't have their own children and they adopted, so I feel it's a very good idea.
Those who can, a special person adopting another
special person.
The figures of the number of parents who have adopted special children or are registered to adopt isn't huge as such, but authorities point out that even these modest numbers tell the story of a huge change of mindset. Adopting a special child does mean a more stringent examination by a social worker, which hearing impaired mother Meenakshi Narona says is very important. Her daughter Kumud is autistic.
Adoptive parent, adopt him, yes, that's okay. But for what use to love or to what should be overlooked, then that is okay.
Last year, most special kids went abroad after adoption. That trend may now change for good. In New Delhi, Sunetra Chaudhary for NDTV. Okay, so let me just get our panelists in. We have joining us from Jaipur, the head of CARA, that's the Central Adoption Resource Authority, Virendra Mishra. Here with me we have Usha Verma. She's the director of Tamanna, that's a special school, and someone who's been working in this sector for many decades now. Jagdeep Kishore, he's someone who works with Palna, that's of course an adoption agency. So he knows how it's been working all these years and what these changes, how significant they really are. But before all of that, I just want to introduce Seema Gupta. Seema Gupta and her lovely daughter over here. And Seema, we are talking about the change now, about how many families have adopted special children. They've registered right now, they want to adopt. But 10 years ago, you did that. You adopted her, and her brothers also have some learning difficulties. Now, just tell us your story, and when you hear that now there are so many more like you, what comes to your mind?
My story probably starts from the fact that I had problems conceiving as a natural process, and we did go through a lot of expensive medication and spoiled my health in the process. So one fine day, both of us, my husband and I, we decided that why not go in for adoption. But that was when we had not spoken to the family, we had not done anything. We just walked into missionaries of charity. And the sister there, we found that area very welcoming. That was a time when we could approach the orphanages directly and register. So we were sitting there, and a sister told us that, we'll show you children and we can give you an option. If you don't like this child, you may choose to go for another one. But my husband was very adamant that we'd come here basically to fill that gap in our lives, fill that void. So we wouldn't be doing the choosing. And whichever child came to us first, in whatever manner, we took that.
And Meghna
was that was Meghna.
And very soon you had another one. I wanted to ask you, Mrs. Gupta, that now people are opting. For you, it was a matter of luck.
Yes.
People are now choosing that 12 people, it's not a huge number, I just want to point that out to our viewers, but 12 people have written that they want, and what would you say to them? Do you think that they're brave, or they're just people who are wise, who figure out that a child is a child?
For me, probably it is a very reassuring fact that at least there are 12 registered parents who opt for special children. When I went back to the orphanages, we used to go back regularly. Most of the children who were left behind were either girls or children with disabilities or children with special needs. And having lived with Meghna, I feel that the kind of nurturing that we can provide in a smaller setup is so much more, and the child learns so much from the environment. Whereas in an orphanage, probably there is that constraint of too many numbers and not being able to give that kind of individualized attention, no matter how good the intentions. So for me,
how satisfying is it?
I somehow feel affirmed in a way, and I'm reassured, I think. Reassured would be the right word.
I wanted to bring you in on this, Virendra Mishra. You heard Mrs. Gupta speaking. These people, hers was by chance, of course, but these families that have come to you now and the calls that you're getting, what do you put this down to? What is causing this change now?
Is that the question? Are you asking me something? I'm unable to hear you properly. If you can repeat the question, please.
Mr. Mishra, I just wanted to ask you, this change in mindset, what do you think is actually causing it right now?
Yeah, I mean, this change in mindset has been really encouraging. I mean, of late, as I was telling earlier, that like in last fortnight, we got around 4 parents who wanted to adopt special needs children. So I think it is basically, the concept of adoption is getting popular these days. As you see the figures, we have around more than close to around 9,000 parents who want to adopt. And now that they are coming to know more about the adoption process, now that we are trying to reach more and more the community members and the counseling part probably, or getting open interaction, I would say that. So that is probably helping the adoptive parents to choose for special need as well.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to bring in Sir over here, Mr. Kishore. Palna has been, right now of course, everyone has to go through Kara. Till August, everyone would go to Palna or any other homes, like they went to missionaries of charity in order to adopt a child. Why do you think this change has happened? First of all, do you think it's significant, 12, or is it too small a number?
See, your questions are multifold. About special needs children,
yes,
for whom Indian families have opted, is a very encouraging sign. I am very happy to see that happening.
Are you surprised?
I would say I am happy and surprised too, because under the old guidelines of CARA 2011 and 2006, a child above the age of 5 years was considered a special needs child. So the agencies who were in the process of placing children under adoption could place those children directly in foreign adoptions. There was no such requirement that those children must be offered for in-country adoption.
They had no option.
They wanted to, they could do it. But the guidelines did not require them to do it that way.
Right.
So it was an easier way out that the Specialized Adoption Agency, or RIPA as it was called earlier, would place a child in foreign adoption, hoping that Indian families will not be taking such a child, and the guidelines created that exception to keep it out of the normal lot. So it being a special needs child, even if you are above 5 years of age, a normal child, the child was being sent abroad. Now what is happening is, recently a 6-year-old child or a 7-year-old child has been accepted by local Indian family under the new CARA process. And recently somebody came to me, he is a colonel in the army, he's taken a 6+ girl. So this is a welcome change which is happening.
Girl. Yeah.
No, she is not a special needs, but
Just, yeah.
6+ age.
Right.
But special needs is a very welcome change and a very surprising thing which I am happy about.